Okay, let's see if I can help you get onto Google Meet and get a little bit more familiar with that application before we need to use it on Monday. It's pretty simple. Now, to begin with, you should all have received this welcome email from me. And in the email, if you scroll down, you will see these really nice colorful buttons that will take you to Google Classroom and to Google Meet. Okay. Now, the easiest thing for you to do is just to click on this button to Google Meet, and it will take you there. If you lose the email or you can't find it, then you can go through Google Classroom, and I'll show you how to do that. Obviously, going to Google Classroom through the button is the easy thing to do. But if you, again, cannot find the video, cannot find the email to get to Google Classroom, then there are other ways to get here. Okay, so you can click the button to get to Google Classroom, or you can come up here to these dots, 9 dots. A lot of people call it the Google waffle, and you can click on that. Here you will find all the links to Google Docs, which we will be using, Google Drive, which is where all things are stored. Here's a link to Google Meet. And while we're at it, right down at the bottom for me, here is the link for Google Classroom. So you will always be able to get to these things, even if you don't have these email with my bright, shiny buttons. Okay? So if we go back over here, if you go to this link here, Google Meet, and click on it, you will go straight to the classroom. Okay. If you go to Google Classroom, and sometimes you'll be in Google Classroom and you'll want to go to the meeting from there, then you can come up here and click on this link here. And this will again take you straight to the Google Meet. It'll be the same Google meeting for all of our classes this semester. Okay. There might be a different one for exams, but I'm not sure yet, and I'll tell you about that closer to the time. But for all of our classes, you can just go to this Google meeting and you'll be fine. Okay, now once you're in Google Meeting, you don't need to join yet. You should check on your microphone and your camera, make sure that they're working. Okay, you can turn them off if you want to, but you won't be able to speak and I won't be able to see you, and so I can't hear you. So sometimes it might be good. Sometimes you'll need these things off and sometimes you won't. Okay, but you should make sure that they're working. As I said, I don't mind if you don't have your camera on all the time during a class. And during a class, you will need your microphone off when you are not speaking, but you will need it on so that you can speak, okay? You can test that those things are working by going up here to these dots and coming here to settings, okay? When you're in settings, you can check your audio, your microphone, and your speakers to make sure that they are working. And your video, you can make sure you have your camera on and that everything is working here, okay? And you can click to go away. When you're sure everything's working, then you click on Join Now. And like magic, we come into the Google Meet. You don't need to worry about this. You can just get rid of that, okay? And here we are in our Google meeting. Now, you've got a few controls down here that are important. So here's your microphone where you can turn it off or you can turn it on. And as I said, when we're in class and you are not speaking, you should have this microphone off because often there are noises in the background and people don't want to hear those, or sometimes there's what we call feedback, just a lot of noise from your microphone or from your keyboard, things like that happening. So it's a good idea, have this off if you're not actually speaking. Okay, this is for your camera. You can turn it off or you can turn it on. And this in the middle, this red button here, is how you leave the meeting. Okay, if you leave by mistake, or you leave and then you want to come back, then you click on rejoin. And this will bring you back to our meeting page. You can again check that everything is working right, and then you can click again on join now. And there you are, you're back again. When you're in the meeting, if you want to ask a question or say something and other people are talking, then you can raise your hand, and somewhere, but I'm not sure where, I will be able to see that you did that. I think this will only work if there's more than one person in the meeting. I can't see that I just raised my own hand. Okay. Something that could be very useful is this button here, which is called closed captions, CC. These captions, as you can see, are producing words at the bottom of the screen. They're listening, the computer is listening to what I'm saying and printing it out at the bottom. This can be really, really useful. And so I encourage you to use it if you think it will be. It can also be a really useful tool for you to help practice your pronunciation, because if the words come out clearly here when you're speaking, then your speaking is pretty good. If you're having some pronunciation problems, then you will see some very confusing things happening in these words. But it can be very useful for you to practice until the computer can actually hear what you're saying correctly. You could, if you wanted, open your own Google meeting or just come into our classroom here outside of class time and practice, okay? There are other things that you can do to practice your pronunciation and your speaking too, but this is just one tool which can be really useful. Okay, up here we have a little icon that shows the number of people in the class and their name. At the moment, you see I'm the only one here, so I'm here. If there were other people here, we would also see their names listed right there, okay? We also have a chat box here, so people can talk to each other or write. And this is something that I might have you do. I might have you write answers or ask questions in the chat box. And we can see that I'm having trouble spelling. There we go. And then we do that. And you can see that the chat comes up here and people can respond. You can all write down here in the chat box. Okay. Other things that you will need are present. Sometimes I might ask you to show me something that you're working on, or you might want to share something or a website or a document or all sorts of things with the class. And here is where you can do that. You click on Present Now, and then you can present your entire screen if you want to, which will let you show everything. It shows the whole desktop of your computer and anything that you might be, anything you might be doing. Sometimes that's good and sometimes it's not so good. You can also present just a window. So this can be good if, for example, you have a Google document or something like that that you want to share. This is where you would do it. And the other option, especially if you have a website or something with video and or audio, would be Share a Chrome tab. These little things up at the top of the page, these are all tabs. You can see I'm going through all my different tabs. Okay. If I want to share one of those, for example, if I wanted to share this, Then in Google Meet, I would click on Share a Chrome tab. Make sure that Share Audio is on if you want people to hear things, and then choose which one of these windows you want to share. When you click on one, you make your choice, then you can click Share and everybody can see it. When you're sharing, that didn't work too well, did it? Hang on. There it goes. When you're sharing, oh, I stopped sharing. I'm not very good at this. Let's try again. Okay. Let's go, well, just go to here. And I'm going to click Share. Okay, so I'm just sharing this screen. This is actually the website that I use for recording this video. If I'm in Meet, you see, I can't see what I'm sharing in Google Meet. It just says you're presenting to everyone, okay? So if I am on that page, I can talk about the page or I can do things on the page. You will see it on the Google Meet screen, but I will see it on my computer screen. When I want to stop presenting, I just have to come back here and click Stop Presenting. And the sharing screen will go away and I will come back. Okay, over here at the bottom, there are 3 more buttons. We have some other controls here. If you want to play with the background, you can do that. If you decide, you want to spend the day at the beach because it's much, much too cold outside in Canada in the winter, then you can put the background on. You can play with these. Sometimes they're fun, but sometimes they slow down your computer and the quality of the call. So if you're using a background and then you find that the audio or the video aren't working too well in Google Meet, then turn off your background and it all should work a lot better. It's a fun toy, but that's about it, okay? There is an option, and I'm not sure if you will have it or not, but there's an option to record the meetings. The only thing to remember is if you're going to record a meeting, you must ask for consent. Recording a meeting without the consent of all participants may be illegal and actionable. You should obtain consent to record this meeting from all participants, including external guests and guests who join late. Okay? What that means is you just need to ask everybody in the meeting if they are okay with you recording it. And if anyone says no, you should not record it. Okay? You can get in a lot of trouble for doing that because it is illegal to record people without their permission. Okay? But if everybody accepts, then it's okay. And then you would click on accept. And then up here in the top left corner, you can see now that I am recording this meeting. Okay. I don't need to keep recording it. So I'm coming back down here and I'm going to click stop recording. Like that. Okay. So that is the main points of Google Meet. When you want to leave the meeting, you come down here and you click leave the call, and then you're done. Just like that. So I hope that gives you some insight into the basics of Google Meet. And if you have any problems, just ask me and we'll sort them out together.